And then we've got the products and services. So this is where we are going to list the things that we actually sell. So meaning if they're inventory items, this is the list of the inventory items that we're going to have. And we're going to have to include the sales price as well as the cost if we're tracking them internally. We'll also have to apply out the sales tax, whether they're going to be subject to sales tax, which is a consumption tax within here, and service items, so that when we create an invoice, it should be as easy as possible. Now, this is where a lot of people get messed up because they don't properly list out their items. And what you want to do is make the data input for an invoice and a sales receipt as easy as possible. The items that you're selling should already be set up and you can just pick them. And that would be the easiest thing to do. And so, but some people, the other method is to use like a time method, meaning you're going to bill people based on hours, which is often the case for a law firm or for a CPA firm, possibly landscaping. But a lot of times, even in a service business, you'd like to maybe avoid that if you could. For example, with the bookkeeping, you might try to say, hey, look, I'm going to charge you based on how many transactions I have. So I can actually count the transactions and then I have a solid number and I can back up and show you the work I did and I can bill you that way. Sometimes you can't do that because you don't know, like if you're a law firm and you take something on, or I'm going to talk to the IRS for somebody, I have no idea how long that could take because, all I can do is go by hours. But if you can set up something other than hours, I think I like that better, right? I would really think about that option and say, okay, how can I set up maybe a subscription model so that I can pay for services and the subscription covers you whether you use the services or not, or a billable model based on how many transactions happened, or with taxes, how many forms you're creating or something like that, so that you have something tangible other than just trying to track the clock all the time and so on. So we'll talk more about these items in future presentations. So that's the general setup for the sales. In future presentations, we're going to go into most of these forms and talk about when we would use them, how they would be applied, what's going to be recorded on the financial statements when we record them, and how possibly bank fees can fit in to that system, as well as sales tax, where does that fall in, and inventory and so on.